Believe it or not, this is my very first monitor. What up, A-Fam? Kitty here with Atola Visuals, and you heard that right. So the reason I needed a monitor was because I was shooting more YouTubes for you guys, which this one you already know is the best to get for YouTubes because that L bracket allows you to flip it around. So that's why I got the small HD focus, which is perfect size. It's 5 inches, so it's still the same size as a phone, which is perfect. I like that size. And also, because I do so many gimbal reviews, I needed a nice monitor that I could hook up to the dual handles. And shooting on Sony, I don't have the convenience of a flip out screen. So let's get into the basic stats before I talk about the tools in this system. I already mentioned it's 5 inches. It's also got this fluid touchscreen going on, and it's 800 nits, which is really bright. Especially during the daytime, it'll be super helpful. Our phones are normally between 400 and 700 nits, depending on what phone you have, so this is already brighter than that. You could upload custom LUTs with an SD card, and it's also preloaded with its own LUT pack. The resolution on this thing is 720. I know most of you are gonna be like, 720, everything's at least HD. There's other 1080 monitors that you could get in the same size, but you're not gonna get the amount of features that you have with this one. So to me, that trade-off is totally worth it. I can't even tell the difference, to be honest with you. For my Sony 6500 users, you'll be happy to know that this thing also comes with a headphone jack. So to power this thing, it uses Sony L batteries. And if you get one of the bundles, it comes with an adapter where you could power on your camera as well. Because we all know Sony batteries don't last more than probably an hour and a half if you're lucky. So to be able to just plug it in and run the power off of this thing like it is right now, it's amazing. It'll add maybe a few more hours to your shooting life. The weight itself is only 7 grams. That is teeny tiny, it's minuscule. The only thing that'll make it heavy is the battery on the back, of course, which is probably gonna add a pound, but it doesn't really add that much weight to the camera setup itself. So using this on a gimbal is superb. One of my favorite things is the L bracket mount. This is the simplest, greatest thing. And a cold shoe mount where I could be able to mount my mics. So enough of the yapping, let's get into the tools and I'll show you what I use. So this thing has so many features, it's crazy. On the left side is where all your tools will be. I have the histogram up here, focus assist, which I use on the Sony already, which is super helpful, but when you click on this, you can customize the colors to have it be whatever you want. And you could also change the sensitivity. You're not limited to low, medium, high anymore. I also have zebras for helping with exposure. Crosshatch, which will give you grids. Audio meters, I like to keep these on all the time. I just like to see if things are peaking and if they're leveled, because bad audio will give you bad video. Don't underestimate the power of audio. Exposure assist is pretty cool because it'll show you the IREs. So this is perfect for skin tones, if you want to check the highlights and see where your shadows are, and you could also change the intensity. And then one of the best parts is you could load your own LUT. So I have 2 looks here, is what they're called. I have one with the Sony S-Log look, which they provided in the system. You didn't have to download anything, it's already in there. And then I also have one of my custom LUTs, which I throw over most of my YouTubes. Then on the corner, you have your battery life. So you have all these features already, get perfect exposure, perfect focusing. You could also pinch in to really get in on the zoom. When you pinch out, you'll have this thing called page builder where you could add, I don't know what the limit is on pages, but if you have different cameras. The interface on this whole thing is really easy to follow. For not having a monitor myself, I didn't have any trouble whatsoever learning this. So especially if this is your first monitor, you want something really convenient and easy to deal with, this is the one. On the left here, you have all your monitor settings. So you could adjust your headphones, you could calibrate it. So there's that for the settings. There's more that you could go through, but I'm not gonna get into that. So the build itself, it's really nice to touch. You have mounting points on the top, bottom, and left side here. This side has the power button. All the cables fit snug within the corners here. There's an SD card slot. Here's your headphone jack. Here's where you would plug in for power for your cameras. The battery is mounted on the back and it comes with cable management clips. The cables that it comes with are short enough already, but if you want a little bit more organization, you got that choice. You have chosen wisely. Why, yes, I have. The box itself is tiny. I have the Sony Bundle, which includes a couple HDMI cables and a USB with cable management clips. There's a Sony battery pack, or also known as a dummy battery, so you could run your camera from the Sony NPF battery, which is also included. And the monitor is all safe and snug. What a beauty. There's a tempered glass protector and a microfiber cloth. So after some testing between my two Sony cameras, they actually display things on the monitor differently. For example, if you're on HD and you want to see camera settings, this is what it's going to look like. It'll take over the entire screen, which is nice and convenient. You could record, you could see it recording on the monitor, which is great. On the A7R II, you could see all those camera settings as well, but it'll be a black bar and it'll be smaller on the screen. For 4K shooting, you're not going to see any of these settings at all. So let me just switch it real quick to 4K, and there it is. You can't see the record button or anything, which kind of sucks, especially when I'm recording myself on YouTube. I just like to know if it's recording or not, because there's a 30-minute time limit, so I just got to go off that little blue-doo, blue-doo, you know, blue-doo. So things that this monitor does not have, which is understandable because of the price point. I already know that they've loaded this up with so many goodies that you shouldn't really need anything more, but I'm just gonna be a bouge for a second and request a few things. So for the 6500, if you're used to touch focus, you're not gonna get that on this monitor. Even though it's touchscreen, there's no way, I guess, to connect the two. It's not gonna work, unfortunately. I wish there was a way to connect like a Sony control cable where you could actually push to record and touch to focus and maybe change settings on here, but that's just getting a little crazy. So if you're wondering, because you could put SD cards in here, you cannot record onto the monitor. It's just a monitor. You're gonna have to record on your SD cards using your camera. It's not a big deal for me because I have the cables that it came with, but if you're gonna have your own specific cables, a lot of people have been complaining that these ports here don't give you enough leeway and room to use your own cables. So you either gotta buy theirs, or you could do what Kai did and just cut it with a saw. I wouldn't recommend that, but hey, it worked, right? And the only real gripe is I wish you could see all the camera settings when you're shooting on 4K. All in all, a small HD focus, 5 inches of freaking winner. You can't beat the price, first of all, with how much stuff it comes with. The features, all the tools, the customizable LUTs that you could import in here. I love this bracket system. It's perfect for us YouTubers and vloggers. It's really lightweight, so it's perfect for gimbal shooters. It solves the problem of headphone jacks for the 6500 and the Sony battery issues, so you can make it last longer. I like that it came with this tempered glass. It's not those sticker ones that, you know, those cheapy, shitty ones that give you air bubbles. It's not one of those. Thank you, I really appreciate it. And lastly, you could actually see this during the daytime in the sunlight. So you won't need a hood, you'll have less to carry around. And you won't be looking like this. I knew right away with the first use that this was a huge upgrade from using my phone as a smart remote. I got nothing but love for this thing. So thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up and comment and say what's up. You could also stalk me on my IG. You do you, and I'll see you when I see you, fam. Done. Oh, my leg's going numb. My leg is numb. So for my Sony and quick. I forgot what I was saying.